Hello, how are you doing today? I'm so glad to be here with you. I hope today finds you unburied from all the snow or back with electricity for those of you that were in Texas and other parts that had some really bad stuff. I hope that the sun is back shining and you have a little bird chirping in your heart, that good way, not the annoying one that wakes you up too early in the morning. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of multiple books, and I help people write, publish, and market their books to bestseller. I help share people with the world because who you are, what you do is so powerful, it's so impactful, and it's so needed. And so I'm here today to ask you, what can I do to help you? How can I help you out? Um, whatever level that might be, giving you free advice, one of my programs, pointing you to somebody else, helping you avoid a pothole, a ditch in the road, whatever it might be. I want to know what I can do to help you today. So, with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about your book and some things that you can do. So, number one, we need to understand that in 2021, best-selling author is the number one influencer credential. Now, if you're a medical doctor, you need to have gone to medical school and gotten a degree. First of all, to legally practice medicine, but secondly, there is some training that you need. And then after that, then you go into your practice, which is kind of scary when you think about it as a patient that that the doctor is practicing on you. But it's true, and they have a certain requirement every year, doctors, nurses, all the people in the medical profession, every year of ongoing continued education to keep up with new advances. What do we know about this or that or the other thing, and how can we do things differently? So even at that advanced level, there isn't really this concept of arriving. It's more a matter of getting to the next milestone and then moving on even from there, right? And best-selling author is one of those big milestones that you should have on your path, whether it be tomorrow or it be in the near future. Now, what I can tell you from a marketing standpoint, as a marketing company, and I've been a marketing company since 1988, and internet marketing company since 1994. So I've done a little bit of marketing, is what I'm trying to say. And what I can tell you from a marketing company standpoint is, in order to market you best, I need you to be a best-selling author. If you were to come to me and say, hey, what can I do to grow my business? What can I do to grow my brand? What can I do to be more known? The number one thing that I'm going to tell you is you need to have a book. It's just really the primary foundation. I want you to hear that word, foundation, for your marketing. Now, just like a foundation to a house, if all you ever build is a foundation, you literally have nothing. You can have the best foundation for the best house in the whole entire world and have it be just the sexiest foundation ever. If you don't put up some walls and a ceiling, a roof over top of the house, it's not going to be very livable. Even if you park a trailer on that really cool foundation or put up a tent, at least then when it rains. Now, cooking indoors, other things that we appreciate doing indoors if you're living in a tent. But the foundation gives you that solid ground to put that on. And then you put up walls and you put up a roof and you section off rooms, right? Isn't that how it works? You build up and you put closets in the room, and you put windows so that you can get light in and you can see out. But you put You don't just put a hole there, you put a window in that. And so there's a whole process to building your house, but it starts again from that firm foundation. And that's your book. That is what being a best-selling author is going to do for you. Now, the thing we have to understand is in 2019, okay, so we're talking a pre-COVID universe. In 2019, there were more than 1 million books um, that were published for the first time ever on Amazon. Now there were, republications, second editions, all that as well, but brand new books, there was 1 million in 2019. There were a lot of books written in 2020, written and published and put out, from traditional publishers all the way to people just self-publishing and putting it themselves on Amazon. And I haven't seen a statistic yet. I'll let you know if I see it, but I'm going to guess that it was pretty close to 2 million, just given from what I heard, all the things I've seen, all the different people that had never written, or had been a long time since they had written a book, that wrote books. So, because lockdown, right? And I mean, what are you going to do? I myself wrote and started into several books and a couple of series and a lot of fun stuff like that too, that I'm still working on. Now it's in the editing process, and it's all a process. And I always maximize my people's books over myself. So as I write them, then they kind of get shoved off to the side, because then I'm working on the next project. But so with that, just having a book, unfortunately these days, is a little bit more noise. It's like, and I'm not saying it's bad noise, because like when you add another voice to a beautiful choir, it makes the choir, it gives it a nuance, it adds to it. I was talking to a friend the other day about the book The Simarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's essentially his creation of the world tome, and I mean, it's a big book. Even people that I know that are pervasive readers, a lot of them would tell you they've never been able to make it all the way through it. It's big, and it's deep, and it's high level. I mean, it's like doctorate level, reading level type of book. So I'm not recommending you read that book necessarily, but there are some good things in it. At the beginning of it, God essentially is creating the universe. He's creating everything that is. And he's doing the creative process in Tolkien's book. He's doing the creative process through song. And so he starts off a sound, and then he has the angel choir come in, and he's conducting them to sing out this grand creative song that is then creating everything that is. And it has an element in it of, it's not only creating the world, but it's also creating all of history that is going to happen in the world, in this world that he's creating. Like you said, it's really, really deep. So then what happens? The equivalent in Tolkien's book of Satan decides that he wants to do his own thing, and he starts singing off, just totally not within that at all. And it's really cool, because what happens is God changes the flow and moves the other angels in and around the song that Satan is singing. I forget what the name that Tolkien gives him in the book, and weaves it in to the story, and it becomes still a beautiful song. And that's the same thing that your voice added to the choir is. It, regardless, I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm a really bad singer. I always tell them, it's like, the Bible says if we don't praise him, the rocks will cry out. I think you got a rock beat, so let's just say that you're an okay singer, all right? But as you add your voice, it is going to make the choir of the universe better. So yeah, absolutely, your book just needs to be out there. There's somebody that's doing a Google search right now for that thing that you do so easily that you're probably not even considering writing a book about it, honestly. You're like, man, why would I write a book about that? Everybody knows how to wash dishes. Everybody knows how to, and the truth of the matter is not everybody does. The very thing that is so easy for you, you've discounted it and you're like, yeah, that doesn't even count, is the thing that somebody is desperately struggling for. There is someone who just can't get it. They try and they try and they try and they try and they just cannot. And it's so easy for you that you wouldn't even think to write a book about it because it's so easy, and it must be easy for everybody else. I'm here to tell you it isn't. And so we need that book. We need for that person that's searching on Google right now to be able to find, well, here's what I do. This is the steps that I take to do the dishes. And poof, and then they're done. It's like anything else. I know people, I'm not one of them. I know people that the first thing they do in the morning is they get up out of the bed and they make the bed, and they intentionally won't sit back on the bed or do anything else. And it's part of their morning ritual, and there's some reasons behind it. It would be theirs to defend. I'm not that person. Um, you know, and neither of us is wrong. It's not about a judgment place, but it's about the fact that there are some legit reasons, and they can tell you those. Don't ask me to tell you because I don't know. That's not my thing, right? But they can tell you, and they can explain to you why doing that. I was explaining to somebody the other day. It's the concept of when we say to our child over and over again, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room. There's a secret buried inside of that. That is, why do you continue telling the child that? Is it, are you just a nag? Like your child is blaming you on? No, probably not. It's more likely you want them to have a routine in the morning. You want to teach them the skill. You're teaching them XYZ. And it's different for each of us. It may be when you really boil down to it and you really drill into it, you're like, wow, I'm actually just telling my kids to clean my room because my parents did, and I've never thought it through. And now that I think about it, trash your room. I don't care. Just keep the door closed. If the smell gets to the point where it's permeating onto the hallway, then you're gonna have to clean your room. I don't know. There's no wrong answer. But buried inside of that thing that you keep saying, there is an answer. There is something deeper there that most of the time leads to very likely what your purpose and passion in life is. And at the end of every one of those discovery sessions with yourself about your purpose is a book. Because all of our skills, everything that each of us does well, does with grace and ease, beneath each of those is a purpose. And the purpose is really, more than anything else, for the person that it's meant for. Maybe it's just one person. What if you just miraculously, marvelously blew up the world in a good way for somebody? What if you only just helped one person? We talk about helping millions, and I believe very strongly that what you do in the world is going to impact millions. But if it only impacted one, that would be more than enough. Think about the times in your life that you've struggled, you've been having difficulties, it's been an emotional time, you're in physical pain, whatever the thing, we've all been through some stuff, right? Now think about the person that did something for you that helped. Talk about physical pain for a minute, okay? I broke my left arm as a kid. I broke it like 3 or 4 times. My poor mom and dad constantly taking me, cast, the whole thing, right? So physical pain, we've all endured it. And we go to the doctor, and the doctor, because they're practicing medicine, yes, on us, tie back to what I was talking about earlier, for those of you that are listening and critiquing my speaking style. I don't think any of you are doing that, but just been in that place the last couple of days. And you go to the doctor, and the doctor puts a cast on your arm so that it'll reset and you'll have, the bones in your arm will not be broken. You have an infection and the doctor gives you an antibiotic, and so on and so forth. We've been to the doctor, so I don't have to explain to you how the doctor works, right? And that doctor, for your physical pain, takes care of that. And for you, you're not thinking about, when you go to the doctor, you're not like, I hope that the doctor can set my broken wrist, because it's massively worldwide, millions impactful, that my doctor knows how to put a cast on an arm, or probably not even him. It's probably the person in his office, or, at the hospital, right? There's text for stuff like that. The point being is, when you're the person in the chair getting your cast, that means everything. When you're in pain, I've had a few things in my life that have been extremely painful, and one of them is kidney stones. I've had it a couple of times. I can tell you, kidney stones are awful. I hope you never have them. But when the doctor, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge medicine I'm not, I just really don't take a lot of medicines. I say that, and then I think about the prescriptions that I take every day, which is why I hesitated. But I'm not that big, I've got this pain, I should go run and take some for it real quick kind of person. Usually I'll do stretching or things like that, and then if necessary, there are things, medicines that can be taken. But when you're talking about kidney stones, you're not just going to breathe your way through it. It's a pain. It's one of those kind of pains that'll wake you up, bolt upright in the middle of the night in the bed, and you'll be screaming and crying. It's one of those pains, okay? I've never given birth, so I'm not going to say that it's worse than giving birth, but it's bad, okay? It's one of those bad pains. Compared to some things that people have described to me, it's probably not the worst. Maybe it's not even top 10, but it hurts, is my point. And when the doctor gives you something that relieves your pain, to you, that makes all the difference. You take it, and then that pain goes away. And this isn't my commercial for, take a lot of prescription drugs, right? But just simply, when you're on the receiving end, getting the thing that you need, to you, it makes all that difference. And maybe the doctor only spends 5 minutes, maybe only 2, in the room with you, diagnosing what's going on and giving you your solution. But to you, in that moment, that's everything. And their ability to come into that room and to help you, to serve you, to meet your needs right where you are, makes all the difference in the world. Now, on a spiritual level, an emotional level, how to up-level your business, all the practical kind of things. So both the deep stuff as well as the superficial stuff, going back to how to do dishes. I don't know anybody whose life is going to be, well, no, that's not true. I actually do know somebody who, having somebody walk them through a ritual for doing dishes made a night and day difference in their life, and turned something that they literally were having emotional issues over. It was causing them physical anxiety, to a point where they actually got to the point where the dishes were kind of their Zen moment in their life. So even on those little things, it can be huge, because for the person in need for that thing, we say, oh, well, that's no big deal. But for them, it really is everything. And so for you, that thing that you do with grace and ease, that stuff that's in you, that book that, is just exploding, wants to come out. which is why we came together for this talk to begin with, right? That thing, for the person who it'll help, even if it only ever helped one, and it'll help more than that, but even if it only ever helped one, it would be more than enough. And for all the stuff you're meant to do in the world, becoming a best-selling author is the foundation you absolutely have to have for everything you do in the world. Raises at work. I mean, even the concept of being a better mom. I have one of my authors. She was, her child was poo-pooing the fact that she was writing a book and she was going to be a bestseller. And they're going, oh yeah, whatever. And then, and I forget exactly the exact situation, but somebody they saw with their mom's book. And then all of a sudden it was a wow moment. Wow, Mom, I saw your book. And they were talking about how great this book was. And then I said, and they said, are you any relation to that? And then I said, yeah, that's my mom. Kind of beaming with pride, right? So even in those situations, maybe it adds confidence to your kids to let them know, hey, sometimes I know I'm just dad, I'm just mom. But hey, I do things in the world, and you can too. Whatever I can do to help you share your amazing you with the world, that's what I'd like to do. I'm here to help you out. I want to help share you with the world if you'll let me. So all you got to do is go to askstevekid.com. I put it in the description, but I'm going to type it in here. And schedule a time to talk to me, or you can shoot me a private message on any of these social media platforms, and I'd be glad to help you out any way I can. Help and advice, any of the mini programs I have, anything that I can do. Even if what I need to do is tell you, hey, you know what, you need to go see this person. I have a really close friend who is an author agent who that's all she does all day long is help people, put together their package and sell them basically to companies. And so whatever you need, I'm here to help you. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being the radiant, beautiful, amazing, wonderful gem that you are. For doing what you do so powerfully in this world. Thanks for showing up as you. I hope that today you're happy, safe, warm, and oh so loved. That if you're going through some stuff, that even in the middle of the darkness, you can still see, know, and remember that there is light. And that as you move through your day, that you will have a great day, that you will maximize while it's called today. And until we're together again next time, that you'll have a great week.